Hello everyone, and welcome to an extremely wild game that was played in round 6 of the 2018 Korchnoi Memorial. It's played between the Russian Grandmaster David Paravyan and the Russian International Master Saveliy Golubov. Now, a lot of you have requested me to check out this game. Here are only a couple of your suggestions, saying like it's a magnificent game, probably one of the best attacking games of modern chess era. And you might think, okay, this agadmator dude has a chess channel, he probably knows every game that's going on in the world, but that actually couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, of course, I try to follow what's going on, but your suggestions are of great help. Because today was actually the first day I saw this game. I read on Twitter that such a game was played and that it was spectacular and stuff, but up until today I haven't seen it. And if you're wondering what's up with the quest in the top left corner of your screen, we'll get back to that after we check out the game. So let's see this beauty. David has the white pieces and he opens with e4. We have e5, knight to f3, and the knight to f6. Two Russian guys playing the Petrov, very nice. Knight captures on e5, we have d6, the classical variation, knight to f3, knight captures on e4, d4, d5, and bishop to d3. This is still the classical variation. Bishop to d6, we have castles, c4, and c6. And if you're a Petrov player, or if you come across against someone who plays the Petrov, chances are you've been in this exact same position quite a lot of times. I've been in this position with the black and the white pieces in online chess and over the board chess as well. And it's very interesting. You can try a lot of things here. For example, rook to e1, bishop f5, and then go into a series of exchanges. So let's say knight c3, captures, bishop captures, queen captures, and a lot of games were actually played in this fashion. But here we have a very interesting approach by David. He goes queen to b3, and this is a very rare move. Only a handful of games have been played using the queen b3 move that can be found in the database. One notable game that was played was in 2007 in the European Cup, where Nigel Short played queen b3 and he beat Pentala Harikrishna with it. But Harikrishna went to bishop to g4 here. But in this game, Saveliy Golubov goes d captures on c4. So already on move 9, we have a position that was never before seen in high-level chess, or it cannot be found in a database. So now we have a completely original game. Bishop captures on c4, we have knight to d7. We have rook to e1 attacking the knight here, knight d to f6, simply improving the position, knight b d2, knight captures, bishop captures, and here we have queen to b6. Saveliy offers a trade of queens here. And here we have the critical moment of the game, queen d3, offering a pawn here. Now, is this a poisoned pawn? You can try and, check out the position for a bit and try and figure out for yourself, is this pawn poisoned? It doesn't appear to be poisoned because queen can always find her way out. Queen captures on b2 was played. Golubov accepts the challenge, and let's see what happened here. Rook a to b1 was played, queen to a3, offering a trade of queens, and now queen to c2. So now if you look at this, this rook is controlling the b file, so let's just mark those with red. The dark square bishop controls a5, the queen controls a4, and the bishop, as you can see, controls a6. So the queen doesn't really have any square, and the pawn guards c5. So the queen doesn't really have any squares to go to. If you're able to attack the queen, you will most likely win the queen. Here, the most essential move in the position is b5. You have to kick this bishop back, bishop to b3, and now escape with the queen. So this is a must-play move. But knight to d5 was played by Golubov, and here we have rook to b3. So okay, the queen is attacked, but now the queen is no longer guarding the a4 square. You can play queen to a4, but here comes the problem. Bishop captures on d5, you have to recapture, or you're just down a piece. C captures on d5, and here comes knight to g5. And here we have A beautiful position where the queen is now actually able to escape, but first you have to deal with this small threat, threat of checkmate. There really isn't a great way to deal with this. You kind of have to play g6. f5 is no better. g6 was played in the game, and in case this is the first time you're actually seeing this game, feel free to pause the video here and try to find the absolute best move for white. It's really a nice maneuver. I'll give it a couple of seconds as usual. For those of you who were able to find it, congratulations, you are an excellent player. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, here David played knight captures on h7. A wonderful move because the knight is immune to capture. If king captures, then rook to h3 check. You simply give a little check, and now you're able to capture the queen on a4. Black loses the queen and the game. So you have to play something here. Of course, you cannot capture the knight. Bishop to f5 was played, attacking the queen here. So you have to react to this. First, knight to f6 check. You have to move the king, but you can't really move the king. Okay, not h7, but you can't go king to h8 because again you get rook to h3 check. Captures, and again you lose the queen. So you kind of have to go king to g7. This was played in the game. And now, how do you continue the attack? Well, simply try and give up more material. Bishop to h6 check. And here you have three options. Again, king to h8, king captures bishop, and king captures knight. So what do you play here? If you go king to h8, then bishop captures on f8, a wonderful move. You simply give up the queen. I mean, who needs a queen? Bishop captures and rook to h3. This will be checkmate. The knight guards d squares. Bishop guards g7. So there's no way for the king, and there's no way to block check. This would be checkmate. On the other hand, of course, if you capture the bishop, again, rook to h3, a deadly move as always. Bishop captures, again, you lose the queen. We all already seen this. So after bishop to h6, black tried king captures on f6. And here, this is a spectacular position. Again, feel free to pause the video here and try to find the winning idea for white. As usual, I'll give it a couple of seconds. For those of you who were able to find it, congratulations. Here, Paul Morphy, Adolf Anderson, Mikhail Tal, Rashid Nejmedinov are all applauding you for your great showing if you found the correct move. If you found queen d2, then it's not all that impressive. Yes, you are threatening checkmate, but black can actually block the rook's presence on the e-file, and now queen g5 check, king e6, and the king can escape. But if you found the strongest idea here, that is g4, which was played in the game, then all of this stands. And this is the way chess was meant to be played. I mean, this is just spectacular. So what's the idea behind g4? Of course, if you capture the queen, you get this beautiful rook to f3 check. Bishop goes back to f5, blocking check, and now comes g5, and this is checkmate. Bishop guards g7, the rook is controlling the entire e-file, and of course the pawn gives a check. Wonderful idea. On the other hand, if you don't capture the queen and you don't do anything, g5 will be checkmate, all the same. On the other hand, if you try blocking the e-file with the bishop, so you can try and escape using e6 and d7, white will simply prevent this with rook captures. D captures, and now queen captures. Again, g5 is the threat of checkmate. And there's really no good way to stop it. You can push g5 yourself to prevent white from pushing g5, but then again, rook f3 check, bishop has to block, and now queen e5 check. The bishop is now pinned. King goes to g6, and queen to g7 will be again checkmate. So here, after g4, Golubov tried bishop to f4. You have to try something, giving further protection on the f-file, and also preparing to capture this bishop with bishop captures on h6. And here there is one move, only one good move for white, and it's the move David found in this game. But again, feel free to pause the video here and try to find yet another move, because this game is simply full of beautiful puzzles to solve. Try to find the best idea here. For those of you who were able to do it, once again, congratulations. Everyone is applauding you, as this is just one spectacular game. Queen to c7, and this is simply First, the light square bishop wasn't allowed to capture the queen. Now the dark square bishop isn't allowed to capture the queen. If you capture the queen now, then it's all the same. G5 comes, and this will be checkmate. On the other hand, after this queen to c7, if you tried something like rook f to e8 to prevent, because here queen to c7 is a powerful move because queen to e8, this is the threat. The queen e7 will be the threat of checkmate. So if you try blocking this, so the queen now cannot come to e7, then comes g5 with check. Bishop captures on g5, and now queen to d6 with check. Rook has to block. Rook captures, pawn captures, and now queen to e5 check. King to f7, rook captures on b7 with check. Bishop to e7, and now queen g7 check. King moves, and queen captures on e7. A beautiful forced variation, by white. If such a move was played, it's a forced checkmate. So here bishop captures on h6 seems to be the only viable move, as now the king can hopefully escape to g7, but white doesn't allow it. Queen to e5 with check. What can you do here? King to g5 was played, and now comes h4 with check. Simply bring the king deeper into your own side of the board. King captures, and now yet another beautiful move, rook to h3 check. Giving up more material to bring the king closer. Of course, you cannot capture here. If you capture, queen to g3 will be checkmate. So here, king to g5 was played, and here we have queen to e7, and it was in this position on move 28 that Saveliy Golubov resigned the game. Why did he resign? Well, whatever you do here, you're getting checkmated. For example, you can capture the pawn, and then you get queen to h4 checkmate. If you try after queen to e7, if you try king to f4, then first you get queen to e3 with check, king captures, and now you get queen to g3 checkmate, and lastly, but not leastly, f6, nicely blocking check, but again you get queen to e3, king captures, and again queen to g3 will be checkmate. So there you have it. This is one of the games that had everyone in the world, all worked out. What an amazing game was played, and I definitely agree. Not really sure about what the title of this video will be. I kind of feel like anything I think of will not be sufficient for such a grand game. So feel free to suggest a title for this video as well, as not sure if I'll be able to think of anything worthy of such a game. So yeah, a beautiful game from round 6 of the 2018 Korchnoi Memorial by Russian Grandmaster David Paravyan. So I do hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank Santosh Akilesh, Niko Viergever, Danny McCullough, Steve Sirois, and Thorsten Grassman for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. And now I did mention we're going to discuss what the quest question mark in the left top corner is. It's an idea I had while washing dishes, none other. For some reason, I thought it would be a nice idea if I gave you a quest. Perhaps not every video, but maybe every other video or something. I'll just see if you enjoy the idea and if you like it. So I will give you a quest, and then if you are able to fulfill the quest, you just print screen that you were able to do it and use the hashtag agadmator quest. It will be the first thing you see in the description below. Just use that on any social media. And I think it will be also a nice way to create an even larger community and expand it to other medias. For example, for this quest, I decided you have to beat an opponent on any platform for playing chess, regardless of which one you use. But you have to finish the game with all of your 8 pawns, so you are not allowed to exchange any pawns. So you can use any time control, and you have to beat someone pretty much on your own level, let's say 100 rating points plus minus. So if you are 2000, you can beat someone that's like 1900 or 2100. So that's basically it for this challenge. Just try to accomplish it, beat an opponent without wasting any of the pawns. And if you will be able to complete this quest, then print screen it and publish it on any social media using hashtag agadmatorquest. And then I'll see how this thing will evolve. If you guys will enjoy it, I'll try to think of some more creative quests for other videos, and you you will also be able to suggest quests. There could be a lot of funky quests, like try to finish the game with 3 queens on the board, or try to finish the game with I don't know. Anything could go, like without touching your D&E pawn, or a lot of interesting quests could happen. So there you have it. I will put a short description of this agadmator quest idea in the description below. It will be the first thing you'll see. So if you feel like it, give it a try. Maybe in the future we'll have like some way of actually measuring who is completing the most quests, and perhaps you'll be able to level up and something. I don't know, it's just an idea I thought of while doing the dishes, so there you have it. So for those of you who were with me until the end of the video, I do hope you enjoyed that as well. So yeah, as usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and hope to see you soon with another interesting video. Although a game like this happens not too often, once in a couple of maybe twice a year, I'd say, or maybe once a year, I don't know. But definitely exciting times, and hopefully more games like this will happen in the future. So thank you all, and I'll see you soon.